1069 pulling in there. Morning all. We are here at Reading and it is bright and early. This is the 5:18 service to North Station, which I'll be boarding in a little under 15 minutes time, but it is 5:03 right now. And I've got a little time to explore this station and indeed explore the rest of the Haverhill Line. So come and join me. Let me show you this station first off. This is the high level platform here. Now we only have one track, one side here at Reading Station, and it's a little bit of an unusual one, and I will show you a couple of those features now. Would have been nice to get a shot of it while it was up, while this train was coming through. But here is Woburn Street Crossing. This is at the north end of the platform. Now let's go south. And here we are at the other extreme end of the platform at Reading Station. This, in the very short distance here, is Washington Street Crossing. So the station itself is sandwiched between those two crossings, but there is a little anomaly that I will showcase back up the platform again. I want to show you those two first, but then this one. This is a bit curious to me, and it's this. And I've inquired about this and not gotten an exact answer to the question. Why is there an actual official railroad crossing right in the middle of the station itself? You can see there is no road here. There never was, nor dare I say never will be, a road here, and yet a full-on railroad crossing post is here. I don't think those lights work. I've been here a couple of times before. I have not seen this in use for any reason. Even when the train is pulling in, I don't think those lights have been on. I may have missed it, and I apologise if I have. But if you've got any conclusive answer to that question, I would very much appreciate knowing in the comments, because that struck me as so curious when I first came here. But also, it's curious, well, a little less curious, but you'll see that there actually are two platforms here, but no track whatsoever on this side. A hark to years gone by, I'm sure, but this is just a, perhaps more accurately, one track station here at Reading. So I'm now just going to head over to this formal crossing. Even though people here do just scoot across the tracks, it's not quite as rigidly enforced as it is in the UK to not cross lines or cross ballast or anything like that. People just do it. That's the rules, I guess, or lack of them. But hey ho. But we're getting on board now, and we're heading in towards Boston. And the first of two stations I'm going to highlight before I get into North Station itself. So I will see you at the first of them shortly. So as it happens, I've had a look at my itinerary now, and it's more than just two stations. I completely underestimated how much I'd packed into this next couple of hours. So 4 stations for the price of 2. So enjoy these first two. The 2 that I was mentioning while at Reading are the latter 2 in this little segment, so enjoy those when they come round. But first, 2 more. And here at the first of those stations, 1069 on its way. And we are at Wyoming Hill. Now I'm not exactly doing a great deal here, but I am going on a little walk, because you'll see here, and obviously this isn't a map to scale, but it's only about a half an hour walk between Wyoming Hill and Melrose Highlands. So when I said that there were going to be 2 stations, and then I said there were going to be 4 stations, It's going to be 5. As long as I can stop at Melrose Cedar Park as well, then a bit more bonus price for you. So I'm going to get on the road, have a nice walk, and hopefully I'll be able to check in both Melrose stations in due course. Let's see. And just as we do head off for this stroll, West Wyoming Avenue crossing, here we are, and better get going. See you in Melrose. About halfway already to Melrose Cedar Park, and yet more of these things. And this, I'd like to think, already highlights the quite incredible number of railroad crossings that we have, or pardon me if you're in the UK, level crossings that we have over here on our network. This being West Foster Street crossing, and much like you see in the UK, there is a number to call and a little info post regarding exactly what this crossing is, should a member of the public spot something either erroneous or faulty with it. So like I say, so many of them here, but I just wanted to highlight that on the way, because they're incredible bits of technology, really, but I'm just not used to quite this many. I'm still not, but I'm getting used to it, getting familiar. Anyway, carrying on to Melrose. See you shortly. And here we are again, this time showcasing not just Emerson Street crossing, but we're here. We've melded it. See, I wanted to say Melrose even quicker. Melrose Cedar Park. That's how short a walk that was. But now, the extra walk from here at Melrose Cedar Park to Melrose Highlands. And if I just put the directions up now on my map, they're saying we are 0.8 miles away, 16-minute walk over to here, Melrose Highlands. It is 5:48, and I like to think typically I can beat that 16-minute mark. That, of course, would take me up to 6:04. Yeah, we're closer to 6:01 or thereabouts. But I'm gonna get there now, and I'll update what time it is when I get there. Let's go. And looky, Melrose Highlands. There. It is 6 o'clock precisely, and I've made it. Nice brisk walk this early in the morning. Never did any harm. Again, Franklin Street crossing this time. One of the many railroad crossings, like, quite frankly, everywhere. But I'm just going to cross this road again. Hello to Franklin Market, good to see you. Opening, not yet, a bit early, don't blame them. But behind this sign here is an interesting thing that I'm not so sure is a thing in Britain. I've never been aware of it here. Signs here that say, correctly, there is a railroad crossing there, but specifying no train horn. And that makes reference to something called quiet zones, which are directives that have been agreed with local town and city councils to not blast a horn at a situation like this. It is simply a warning, if you like, to drivers and pedestrians alike to just keep your wits about you, because trains do come through here. They just can't blow their horn in the same way where in the UK you might expect them to. But all the same, this is Melrose Highlands, and now I've got about a 13-minute wait until my 6:14 train comes in. So I'm going to head over to the other side and have a little sit down. Give you a shot when the train pulls in, just because I'm nice like that. But for the time being, I'm having a little rest. I'll see you in a few minutes. we are with the hubbub that is Malden Centre, and not just Malden Centre on any given day. At the time of filming, of course, this is still ongoing, the Orange Line shutdown, meaning we have, to put it in no uncertain terms, a hell of a lot of people getting on this train. Now this normally is one of just two stations on the north side, the other being North Station, that is subject to Orange Line service. Once the train is out of the way, you will see the Orange Line platform on the other side, and I'll film that in a moment just to highlight where it is. But there is a third station as well at the moment that, if you watched my video the other day, the other week even, that highlighted all the travel that you can do in Zone 1A, 1 and 2 during this closure period, you'll see that Oak Grove, not normally a commuter rail stop, is a stop for this 30-day shutdown period. So I'm going to be heading there next as well. Now this is heading out now. Pardon the loud locomotive in a moment. Thank you very much, 10:36. And just like that, Malden Centre Orange Line station, which has a grand total right now of 0 people on. You can't quite see it sadly from here, but I can just see a sign. Well, it's in line here, but you probably can't read it in the distance. If you can, nice one. But it says no train service, reflecting the complete closure of the Orange Line. Now in terms of Malden Centre itself, there's not a great deal here to shout about, but when we get to Oak Grove, there's a couple of things to point out there. So I will see you there, and I'm going to take another quick break and wait for my train to Oak Grove to come in. And indeed, just as I wait for my train, I've got another 10 minutes to kill yet, and here it is. No Orange Line service. Use CR or shuttle bus. I'll be choosing CR. But yeah, we are, by my count, we are currently 11 days into the shutdown now. This is being filmed on August the 30th. And the shutdown began on the 19th, late night. So it's, I think all things considered, it's going well for the extremity of the closure. But still sucks. But never mind. Let's head back upstairs now. Back to little additional thing at the bottom there. The diversion will begin at 9 PM on Friday, August 19th. Yeah, you're right, it did. So now up we go back to the platform and on to Oak Grove. And for those of you back in Britain, this is what I would like to call Rare Shack. Look at that. Commuter rail train. Commuter rail train at Oak Grove Station. And with the quite incredible fleet of coaches that are currently being used to facilitate the actual Orange Line route itself. Now, I've been part of a number of pretty hefty bus operations for my time with Chiltern Railways before I emigrated here. This is utterly gargantuan in comparison to anything I've ever done there. Just bus after bus after bus after bus, and if I remember hearing the news correctly, the fleet size in total that they have procured for this is 180. 180 of those giving you service on the Orange Line itself, and that of course doesn't even begin to include the commuter rail additional stops at Oak Grove and Malden Centre where I was just now. It's only a little snapshot of the magnitude of the just everything. Like, I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words just thinking about how massive a project this is. and in such a short space of time that everything had to be thrown together. I am proud to work as a part of this network. I may not be directly an employee of the subway, but the commuter rail is a wider part of what the fair locals here call the T, and I'm proud of it. I really am. I mean that. And this will just get us in a step in the right direction to being a brilliant transport service everywhere. That's what we need to aspire to. We'll get there. Speaking of get there, I need to get to North Station. So I'm just going to wait for my train now and get on board. I almost forgot those two things I was going to show you. And you know what? I'm a little surprised at something that is going to very easily indicate one of the things. Heading towards the end of the platform now. Might even see my train coming in shortly. It's only a few minutes out. But there's one thing here that will be well within shot, and there's a coach parked up here, so pardon me if this is a little bit loud as I am narrating this. You will see in the distance over there, there is actually an Orange Line train, and that is pulled over into the turnback siding, given that Oak Grove is the final station on the northbound section of the Orange Line. However, I don't think this will come out, unfortunately, but where that train is sat, to the right of it, where you see here, this is the actual commuter rail line, but that line curves round, and just past sight there is what is called Fells interlocking, and that is where the line starts to become two-track again, heading up towards Reading. So yeah, just wanted to snapshot that quickly, and now I really will wait for the train to come in and head into Boston. Hey, thank you. The glories of North Station, and the glories of the Haverhill Line, and Amtrak's Down Easter service calling at Haverhill itself. Boarding on track 6. Let's see what we can do. There's your shot outside. We are on board the Down Easter. Let's go to Haverhill. So concludes my brief ride on Amtrak. Never seen these before. You don't see these in Britain. There's no tables. But for those who do want to sit in a party of 3 or more, that's very well designated. I like that. Now, let's get on the platform. And here it is, train 681. We have a last minute arrival there, and we are at Haverhill Station. Now, once I've let this go out, I'm going to be on another short little walk. Honk. That means we're good to go. But yeah, once this is gone, I am gonna goes train 681, continuing northbound from Haverhill all the way up to Brunswick in Maine. And now I've got a little bit of time to kill here. I could do one of two things. I could either just stay here and wait for what I think is the 9:57 service to North Station, or I can do a short walk in that direction to Bradford Station. Now on Google Maps, I think that says it's about 9 minutes or so. So this will be a little amble. And it is quite literally the case that there's a river we go over on the way to and from here. And I think that river is the city and town line. So currently standing in Haverhill, but I'll be making my way to exit the station in a moment, walking over that bridge, over the river, and then as I've crossed that river, I'll be in Bradford. And when you get into Bradford, the station is pretty much the first thing you see. So you'll see in a moment. You know, it is so close to the station, the bridge, that I'm going to see if this comes out well enough to be able to show you right away. Now, I've been to Haverhill once before when I did my whole network trip back at the start of the year, and down there, about 3 or so minute walk, is a Greek restaurant, the name of which escapes me for now, but they did the most delicious hero, and if they were open this time of day, I would be heading back there again. Sadly not, so I'm heading this way anyway, away from there, and we're heading towards Corno Bridge over the Merrimack River, and we should be heading up on that in a moment. Not quite as simple a walk as I thought it was, but where these cars are coming from, I believe, is where it is. So join me again there in a moment, and we'll be crossing the bridge. And here we are then, as the traffic runs behind me, as you see the cars coming into shot, they are heading into the downtown Haverhill area. And welcome to the stunning sight that is the Merrimack River. This is Corno Bridge, welcome. And you know what, I wish I was over the other side. That's an even better shot over there. Go on, lap that up. That is absolutely stunning. But for architecture's sake, so is this. And this bridge right here connects Haverhill Station in that direction to Bradford Station, where I'm heading to now. And that should be just 3 or 4 more minutes from here. But I've passed over this bridge a couple of times before, and hang on. There's 684, beg your pardon. The second inbound Amtrak of the day, heading from Brunswick, having just left Haverhill over there, and is now heading towards North Station with an intermediate set down only stop at Anderson Woburn. This train won't be stopping. Yeah, we heard you. Don't worry, I know it. Hey! I know it has to whistle, don't worry, I know. But yeah, okay. It's fun. It was fun the first time. Anyway, that's not stopping at Bradford, but the next train going inbound towards Boston will be, and that will be the train I am on. So I will see you at Bradford Station, and we'll be getting on board it. See you in a bit. Welcome everyone to Bradford Station. And Bradford is a place with a fair number of tracks. You got your usual inbound and outbound here, inbound where I'm standing, outbound there, but also to the right of me, commercials for Remax and for Wendy's, but also more importantly these tracks here, which take you over to Bradford layover facility, where we store sets of equipment overnight, ready for Haverhill Line runs in the morning. It's not exactly much to shout about outside of peak hours or overnight, but this is where they get kept, and this is the station. This is where the main event happens, and this is where the actors get into costume, if you will. Curious analogy, but you know me by now, so that's fine. A few more minutes and I'll be headed from Bradford further south, and I am stopping off first at Andover, 2 stations from here, just for a quick stopover. And so, made it now to Andover. And at this point, if I may give a shout out please to my good friend Kyle from Louisiana. Hi, if you're watching this, hello mate. You'll remember Andover, I'm sure, as the place of the 2 Elm Square job in the downtown area. The downtown of which is like a 5 or so minute walk from here, I think, in that direction. I'm not too sure because I haven't sadly got enough time to head down there and have a look. This is a very quick changeover point for me. But I remember that job very fondly. I was, for those who don't know, I was working with Kyle for 4 months at the start of 2021, at the start of last year, before I started off with Keolis and my job on the Commuter Rail. And I've got a lot to thank Kyle for giving me a chance to shine as a member of a moving and storage team. But I know he knows I'm happy here now. I know. But yeah, I just wanted to stop off here briefly for old time's sake, and wish I could go downtown, but so be it. I'm off to Lawrence next, and to one of my very favourite bakeries that I know of in the 2.5 years I've lived here so far. I cannot wait to show it you. You'll be in for a treat. If you've been there before, you'll know exactly what I mean. If you haven't been, then get the train. Take the train there. I'll show you why.
Next stop, Lawrence. Next stop, Lawrence.
Thank you. And Lawrence. Couldn't get noisier if you tried. The crossing siren there. The locomotive there. But we made it. And have I got a treat to show you now? Let's go downtown. Right, now we'll go downtown. Introducing another bridge over the Merrimack River. This time in Lawrence, but no trains to be seen this time round. Not on this bridge, at least. Now, Lawrence is historically a very industrious city, hence why you see so many old factory buildings all around you, all around. It's a fascinating historic city, and it's the city that is home to my nearest US immigration centre, where I got my green card for the first time back in 2020. But since then, I've discovered something else quite wonderful about this place, and that's where I'm taking you to now. But I just had to show you this bridge first, because you know what? It's all stunning, isn't it? It really, really is. In fact, you know what? That I'm checking that clock. I don't think that's accurate at all. No. You remember my video on the Lowell line the other week, and I had a clock that was showing entirely the wrong time? Well, that I haven't got a clue. It's apparently 6 minutes past 12, so that's an hour and 7 minutes out, and of course I'm ignoring that as well. So I'm just going to head downtown instead, check my phone for the time, and all will be well. Citizens of planet Earth, may I please proudly present to you Tripoli Bakery, the finest pizza place you will ever see. And therefore I'm going to get some pizza now. I can't recommend this place enough. Plus, they have the most enormous bakery in there, that side. It's split up, bakery here, pizza here, because it says pizza. So I'm going to go feast. Yay. Citizens of planet Earth, may I please proudly present to you Tripoli Bakery, the finest pizza place you will ever see. And therefore I'm going to get some pizza now. Oh, I can't recommend this place enough. Plus, they have the most enormous bakery in there. That side is split up. Bakery here, pizza here, because it says pizza. So I'm going to go feast. Yay. And there it goes. The finest bakery and pizzeria you may wish to ever set eyes on or set foot in. Note here, the box. 5 locations across the region: Lawrence, North Andover, Salisbury, Methuen and Seabrook in New Hampshire. The Seabrook one I frequent relatively often when my wife and I go to the beach at Hampton Beach, but the Lawrence one, that one that we just went to, is the only one that is remotely accessible by commuter rail, and therefore by default it's my favourite. Now, speaking of commuter rail, I'm heading back to the station with this to enjoy it. Also this now as we're heading over the other side of the bridge, this commemorative plaque for what I've since discovered is Duck Bridge. And behind us there, Duck Mill. So that kind of figures. There, the clock that is 1 hour and 7 minutes wrong. To be precise, 1 hour and 7 minutes fast. And here is your alternative shot over the Merrimack River in Lawrence. And speaking of ducks, you probably can't see them in shot, but right there, there's some duckies. They can't have a pizza though. That's all mine. Don't feed ducks bread either. They're not gonna have the pizza anyway. Doesn't matter what it's got on it, even if it's just bread. That'll make it just bread. Don't feed ducks bread. That was an announcement by Royce. Don't feed ducks bread. Thanks. And that siren in the background means that my train back to Reading is incoming. So that wraps it up for another episode of Royce on the Rails. And that means I'm about to get on board and enjoy this at long last. Cannot recommend this place enough. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon on Royce on the Rails. Take care for now.